Chandler didn't hold back. He said Jack Della Maddalena isn't complicated. He's just violent. Clean boxing, perfect timing, and power that shuts the lights out instantly. Chandler even said it straight. Poirier hits hard. JDM hits harder, and that changes everything. Islam Makhachev wins by control. Once he gets his hands on you, the fight becomes his fight. But JDM isn't coming to play defense. He's coming to walk Islam down and force chaos before the takedowns even start. This isn't striker versus grappler. It's raw pressure versus perfect discipline. If JDM clips Islam early, even once, the division could flip overnight.
JDM is a tough. He's not much of a puzzle, man. He's pretty basic, but he is brilliant and violent and devastating with the basics, man. A little bit of range, a little bit of reach on Islam, and I won't even sit there and say, because Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170 pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers, because the dude's kind of a nut. So I think I don't think strength or size is going to be the problem. It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam's going to bring. Because I do think, even the stand-up battle against Poirier does hit hard, because I've witnessed that and felt it firsthand. But there's no way he hits as hard as JDM. So I think it'll be interesting, man. I think Islam's going to get tagged up a couple times, and we're going to see if he goes to that wrestling pretty quick. But I think JDM's a monster, man. I think I give JDM the slight favor, or the slight nod in that one. But I would not be surprised if Islam is holding the belt, and then now you got a whole nother conundrum where you got Ilya, him wanting the super fight and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens, man. Crazy sport.
The Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight wasn't just hype. It was already in motion. The UFC wanted the old king versus the new threat. Jon verbally agreed. The offer was massive, around $30 million. Then, one day later, Jon walked away. That's where the whole narrative flipped. Fans said he was ducking Tom. Others said he was protecting his legacy. But nobody knew the truth. Now Jon is finally admitting it. He said the situation was handled wrong. On his side. He didn't finalize the deal. Communication broke down, and Dana took it personally. Jon says he wants to fix that. He wants a face-to-face conversation, to clear the air and get back to making the biggest fights possible, especially with the UFC planning a historic White House event next year.
I think my most immediate goal is to try to be on the White House card.
Okay.
And
you talking to Dana? How's he feeling?
I'm giving Dana his space. Dana has changed my life.
Yes, he
has changed my life. He's changed my children's lives.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful to him. Okay. And we had a verbal agreement that didn't go over well. Nothing was finalized. But I do admit guilt, not guilt, but I was wrong.
You'll make it right at the White House.
The way things went down, I was wrong, and I wish that I could see him face to face and just apologize to him, and so that we can let bygones be bygones and get back to making some major money for the sport, and really entertaining these fans.
Tom Aspinall didn't wait around for Jon Jones. He became the undisputed heavyweight champion on his own terms, defended the belt, and proved he belongs at the top. But critics still keep one question alive. Can he do it against Jon? Jon keeps pushing the narrative that Aspinall quits when things get tough, pointing to past injuries and quick stoppages. But every time Jon says it, it comes off less like analysis.
Man, Tom, when Tom gets hurt, it's like he's like immediately incapacitated. Immediately.
He shut down.
It's like, you poke my eye, and then he's like immediately. There's no like.
He never tried to look. It was rag on the eye immediately.
Dude, I would have been the silliest looking cat on national TV, just
trying. He didn't try. He didn't try.
Same thing with Curtis Blaze. When he hurt his knee, there was no limping. There was no trying to get up. It was just like immediately.
Yep.
Oh, burn my village. I can't go on.
He doesn't have the dog in him. Yeah, that killer to be killed.
Immediately quits.
Yeah.
Ciryl Gane didn't waste a second after the no contest with Aspinall. While the result was frustrating and anticlimactic, he was already back in the gym before the noise around the controversy even died down. Islam Makhachev isn't interested in the modern parenting mindset. He said straight up that he'll raise his kids the same way his father raised him, the same way Khabib's father raised him, with discipline, structure, and consequences. He mocked the idea that yelling or correcting a child damages their psyche, pointing out that the two most dominant fighters of the era were raised under fathers who demanded accountability, respect, and effort every single day. Islam's tone was simple. Look at the results.
Зависают эти в телефоне.
Это интересно, как воспитывать своих детей будешь. Ну, сложно же все равно, Хабиб тоже очень что. Как Хабиб говорил, что, например, там, меня отец был человек небогатый, а у моих детей будет человек богатый, соответственно, тут...
Но у меня тоже так же, но я буду, не знаю, я не могу 100% сказать, так же строго, как меня отец воспитывал, так же строго я буду к своим детям, это 100%. Это вот сейчас появились какие-то психологи, там, на ребенка нельзя крикнуть, нельзя там по попе ударить, психика ломается, ну, что я или Хабиб, что какие-то психически ненормальные люди, чтобы наши люди. Я знаю, что у Хабиба был отец очень строгим, у меня был отец очень строгим в детстве. Наоборот, мне кажется.
Dana White isn't leaving this one to speculation. The moment Tom Aspinall is medically cleared, the rematch with Ciryl Gane is booked. No negotiation, no debate, no alternate matchups. The first fight ended in chaos and controversy, not closure, and the UFC knows the heavyweight division can't move forward until that unfinished business is settled. Tom is already recovering at home, and the second he's cleared, the cage door closes again.
Dana, what about heavyweight champ Tom Aspinall? And what was your reaction to seeing that, and how's he doing physically right now?
Devastated. I was devastated.
Right?
When you're in main event, and it's heating up, and it looks like it's going to be a really good fight, and then it ends with an eye poke, and that's how the fight ends. It's brutal. He's at home. He's recovering, and as soon as he's able to fight again, we'll book the rematch. Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we haven't heard that there's anything. He doesn't have detached retina. There's no damage to the eye, so he should heal up soon, and we'll figure out when we can make the fight again.
Ben Askren just walked back into training after what should have ended his athletic life. 4 months ago, he was on his deathbed. 3 months ago, he couldn't even stand without help. 2 months ago, he was still walking with support. Most fighters don't return from that kind of decline. They retire quietly and fade out. But Askren is built differently. He didn't post excuses. He didn't look for sympathy. He tied his shoes and got back on the mat. It's a reminder of what combat sports really demand. Showing up when your body is screaming not to. The UFC is entering a stretch where nothing is guaranteed and every outcome rewrites the sport. If Islam survives JDM, he cements himself as the undisputed face of his era and walks directly into a champion versus champion super fight that could define an entire generation. But if JDM lands clean and flips the division, he becomes the first true disruptor since McGregor, someone who didn't climb the ladder, but kicked it over. At heavyweight, Tom Aspinall isn't waiting for permission or validation. He is building his legacy in real time, and the longer Jon Jones delays that collision, the more it looks like Tom isn't chasing Jon. Jon is desperately holding onto a version of the division that no longer exists, and Ciryl Gane, silent and disciplined, is preparing to either correct the biggest mistake of his career or prove that he was never meant to be just a skilled heavyweight. He was meant to be champion. These storylines aren't separate, they're converging, because when power shifts in one weight class, it ripples through the entire sport. Heroes don't stay heroes forever. Champions don't get to keep their throne just because they earned it once. The UFC is about to crown new icons, bury old legacies, and expose the fighters who were only ever protected by timing. We're not watching random matchups. We're watching the beginning of a new hierarchy, a reshuffling of who matters and who disappears. And when the dust settles, only a few names will still be standing at the top. Stay locked in, because the next punch thrown could end an era.